by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Protesters take to the streets in Oakland, California following the stabbing death of a woman on a subway platform. I'm Laura Podesta. I'll have details on the suspect who is now in police custody.
And Bozeman City Commission takes the first steps towards putting funding for a new fire, police, and justice center on the ballot. Coming up, how much the new facility would cost city taxpayers.
Happy Tuesday, Southwest Montana. Chet Lehman, Missy O'Malley with you here. Matt Elwell has our forecast in a moment. Our top story this half hour. Transient with a history of violence is in police custody in California following a deadly attack at a train station in Oakland. CBS's news correspondent Laura Podesta reports on the capture of that suspect.
27-year-old John Lee Cowell was arrested last night aboard a Bay Area rapid transit train, not far from where police say he fatally slashed 18-year-old Nia Wilson on a subway platform and also stabbed her sister.
We don't have any facts that suggest he's connected with any white supremacist group. We are going to explore all options and all possibilities.
Wilson's death triggered demonstrations at the MacArthur BART station and throughout Oakland.
We don't know if this was racist. We don't know if it was random. We don't know what it was. But we're asking the African-American community to stand down right now.
Her mother is still struggling to make sense of the tragedy.
This man just came and did all this to my baby, though. My baby.
Wilson's death marks the third murder in 5 days on the BART system. On Sunday, a homeless man died after he was punched by an attacker and fell down, hitting his head on the pavement. In another attack, a man died after an assault led to an infected injury.
I totally understand the concern that folks have.
Now in police custody, Cowell is being described as a transient with a history of burglary, drug, and weapons charges. Wilson's family and protesters in the Bay Area are demanding to know why he was on the streets and able to take an innocent life. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Authorities nabbed the suspect after receiving an anonymous tip. He was arrested without incident.
6:31 now on this Tuesday. Meteorologist Matt Elwell joins us. Not a bad start. A little chilly down in West. It was a little chilly yesterday down in West Yellowstone too. We were down there covering a series of stories and a little brisk to start the morning. It turned out to be a beautiful day though.
I think that today's going to be much the same. The only difference in some of the mountain regions like West Yellowstone, Big Sky, Ennis, there's a chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm for the afternoon.
Okay.
Not all bad. Temperatures into the 40s and 50s. Most of us are probably going to stay dry and warm, though. These daytime highs eventually back into the mid-80s for today. It looks like the next several days are going to be kind of a up and down forecast. We'll talk more about what that means as we get a little closer to the weekend. We'll also talk about your weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. 6:32 on this Tuesday. A 21-year-old man arraigned in court yesterday morning after a violent attack on two women inside their home. Griffin Malcolm faces one felony charge of aggravated burglary. He broke into a home on South 10th Street around 6 o'clock Saturday morning, where he pinned down and punched a woman who lived there. Another woman who also lived in the house says Malcolm threatened to kill her. According to police, Malcolm was wearing nothing but boxers when they arrived and had a mop or a broom in his hand. His bail set at $10,000.
And in April, city officials in Bozeman decided to move forward with the city public safety facility instead of building a joint law and justice center with Gallatin County. MTN's Badaris Bad reports from City Hall. She explains what the next steps will be.
Bozeman is set to hit a population of 50,000 by 2020. Deputy Mayor Chris Mell says buildings like the Law and Justice Center are no longer fit to serve the community.
Right now, that old Catholic high school, if we have a seismic event, may collapse. And as I've heard him say at a number of presentations, our first action after an earthquake might be to go to dig out the rescuers. And so when you're rescuing the rescuers for the first day, that's not a great proposition.
Commissioner Jeff Krause says the fact that police officers have to change in bathrooms due to lack of space is unacceptable.
Imagine leaving your police department that sees an unseemly side of Bozeman anyway, leaving them to change their clothes and leave their civilian clothes in the toilets. And, you know, if I could summarize this in a nutshell, it would be, isn't it time that we got the cops out of the toilets? I mean, it is. That is a rhetorical question.
Commissioners plan to do this by asking taxpayers to pay for a $37 million public safety center on city-owned property located on the corner of Oak and Rouse. It would house 4 city departments: police, fire, municipal courts, and victim services.
We're asking for a lot of money here, $100 a year. We need to show them that this is their best deal, and I firmly believe this is the city taxpayers' best deal, because you will get the benefit of all the efficiencies.
Commissioners have now taken the next step and approved the bond language, which will end up on the November 6th ballot. In Bozeman, Medeiros Babb, MTN News.
The cost to get this issue on the ballot is $8,000, which will come from the budget that was approved in June. In other news, the Bridger Ski Foundation has a new executive director. Evan Wess has a strong ski background. He was a former U.S. ski team member. Before coming to Bozeman, Weiss was the head coach for the Snow Summit ski race team at Big Bear Mountain in California. He's excited about his new position and the plans he has for it.
Definitely off the bat is meeting people in the community. Lots of people are engaged in winter snow sports here. So it's really important that people come, share their stories, so I can go out there and really help build this up to what it can be.
Now, he is new to the community. He said he's looking forward to spending plenty of time in the mountains. We'll see you up there.
Shifting gears, Vice President Mike Pence will attend a private fundraiser for U.S. Senate hopeful Matt Rosendale tonight in Billings. Then it's on to a public event tomorrow morning. This will be the Vice President's second trip to Billings. He attended a fundraising event for Congressman Greg Gianforte last May. Billings is again preparing for his arrival in the event called Tax Cuts to Put America First. Vice President Mike Pence is set to arrive on Air Force 2 in Billings today around 4:30 this afternoon. We'll have more with our affiliate in Billings on Vice President Mike Pence's arrival.
Absolutely. And with that, we've made it to the part in the show where we get to introduce you to a Montana-made product. We do this every week. And the glow of the neon sign, it's the universal signal to come on in.
But neon is becoming a thing of the past, which is why people like Andrew Thompson of Art Signs are working to ensure the craft doesn't fade. MTN's Samantha Harrelson has more in this week's Montana Made.
You gotta get the feel for it. Cut my fingers a couple times too.
It's a long and involved process.
Every day's different. There's only a couple of us that do it anymore, and LEDs are taking over, but it just doesn't have the same effect as the neon does. Takes practice. Hours and hours of practice.
Working with flame to bend the glass before filling the tubes with neon gas to give it that iconic glow. It's a passion that runs in his veins. Andrew's grandfather was a sign maker himself.
Yeah, I never met my grandpa, but it's in my blood, I guess.
But Andrew's passion goes beyond signs. He takes the neon light and turns it into art, using antique pieces like car bumpers and old farm equipment. Thompson has been in business for himself for over a decade. He embodies that certain Montana spirit, humble, hardworking, and willing to put in the extra time to do what you love.
I just enjoy doing art, and I thought I'd try to make a living out of it.
In Billings, Samantha Harrelson, MTN News.
Samantha tells us Thompson already looking for new antique pieces to work with. If you have something or want a custom piece made, you can contact Andrew at artsignsanddesigns.com. We're going to take a quick break. Here's what's coming up later on Montana This Morning.
This is what the Maple Fire burn scar looks like from 2016. What's the chance that something like this could happen again this year? I'm John Shearer. Coming up, we'll tell you what the fire managers in the park are saying.
Good morning ahead here on CBS This Morning. We're in Pennsylvania with damage from the heavy rain and flash flooding and the continuing threat this week for more than 50 million people. And we'll take you inside a mom's fight to protect a summer tradition after her kid's lemonade stand was shut down by police for not having the right permits. See you right at 7.